Hello and welcome to the Philippines. Many of you know I took a fall about a week ago, about 7 days ago, and was in the hospital for 5 days. Broke my shoulder, shattered my ball and joint, shoulder joint, and they I don't know, screwed it back together, pasted it back together, whatever they did. And I've got a long scar. Maybe I'll show that, put that picture in the video here a little bit later. And pretty much working one-handed. Now this walk was before my fall, and a rainy night out. Anyway, I was in the hospital. I was able to I was downtown area at night. Fell. I was in great pain in my arm, shoulder. Laid there for a bit, composed myself. I was able to roll over and eventually get up. And I eventually found a taxi, took me home, where I found my girlfriend had just got home. She took me to a hospital, and I was admitted early the next morning, I think, after midnight sometime. And anyway, I'm walking Ramos Street. There was a Palawan money changer there. I used to take money there for a friend. Every week he'd send one of the girls he knew, one of his former girlfriends, I think he would send money to. So a few of these shop owners know me, or people that work there anyway. Several pharmacies along the way. Anyway, I'm walking up towards Mango Avenue, officially called General Maxilome Avenue, where Mango Square is. Used to be a big entertainment area in Cebu City. A number of years ago, they pretty much shut down most of the bars up in there. Now you got bars up the street a ways here, and across the street, 301 Ramos Street Bar. Sports bar. They got a band in there a few nights a week. Interesting place, pretty good food. I stop in there occasionally, and I'll point out a couple others as we start walking down Mango Avenue up here. Here is a picture after I was stitched up, stapled back together. Anyway, it's taking about 5 pain medications a day. I had 3 different ones. One once a day, 2 twice a day, and 1 as needed. 3 different types. I'm finished with the 2 types. Now I just take 1 as needed. 7 days later, went for a checkup with the surgeon yesterday, and he said, "Well, you still have a lot of muscle there, so maybe in a couple of months, maybe in 7 to 10 days, we'll take the stitches out, and maybe in within a couple of months, 2 to 3 months, we can start rehab." Anyway, I can move my arm at the elbow a little bit, but if I move my shoulder joint at all, very much at all, I get a sharp pain there. And he said, "Don't do that. That needs to heal before we start trying to stretch that and build some new muscle." And then they also gave me antibiotics. I think a 7-day supply of antibiotics, and I just keep it clean and change the dressing every couple days, and seems to be working out anyway, slowly, very slowly. But I'm working one-handed, so it takes me longer to edit video for sure. And if I'm answering comments, I don't answer nearly as many comments now, and or emails as well. More difficult to do, time consuming. The surgeon tells me that the goal will be to try to reach 80 to 90% of mobility eventually with my arm. So see how that works out. There's Ultima Towers and Crown Regency Hotel there. Got a Bose Coffee to the right. That building up ahead, that used to be Summit Hotel. Now it's more of a dormitory type thing. I'll do a video about that, a low-cost dormitory, but you can rent a room there, pretty low cost, even an individual, if they have units available. Yeah, this little area here is called Rain Tree Mall, and you walk back in there and down a couple alleys. Kind of interesting things back there. Found a decent little pizza place back in there, and I don't know, one or two different massage places. A lot of massage places here, and you can get a massage for 250, 350, 550, on up from there, I guess. Any various places in the, depends on what type of place you're visiting. And lots of money exchange type places, money sending and receiving places. Cash is big business here, sending money within families and from outside the country, overseas Filipino workers sending it back to the country, boyfriends sending money into the Philippines. That is big business here. Another Palawan, I think there was a Palawan money transfer type place. Um, anyway, many of you know, I've got a motorbike, Rusi 250 Classic. Works pretty good, and with my arm type setup, I am considering. I really don't want to sell it, but thinking about how much mobility am I going to have 6 months from now. Will I be able to ride it reasonably well or not? So anyway, I'm not. It's something I'm thinking about. You know, when you have a major break like that, it definitely changes some of your options, at least short term, perhaps even long term. The bar to the right here called Barcode, and they've got I think they've got music some nights, and I've had a beer with a friend sitting outside quite some time ago, but haven't been in there. Don't know what. I think they got a pool table in there, I believe. And back the other direction, about one block, is Fuente Osmeña Circle, a big traffic circle. In the middle of that circle is kind of a park type area. And when there are major events in town, there are major events in that park area and around that circle. Kind of the center of what would be called the uptown area. And this would be General Maxilome Avenue, or what it's even listed on many maps still as Mango Avenue, going this way. And just across the street, kitty corner to the left, it used to be back in 2015, 2016, 2017, I think. Lots of bars over there, different types, some catering to different clientele, Japanese bar, Korean bar, place that played a lot of good old American type stuff. They had a place called, it was an Irish pub. What was the Marshall's Irish Pub was very popular, but quite small. They could have been I think three times bigger and drawn a big crowd. They finally said no, with all the lockdowns. After 17 years, we can't stay in business anymore. So across the street is Mango Square, basically a block square area. And you got some Mango 1 and Mango 2 over on this side. They've got fast food restaurants, a couple other things. But yeah, the bar area over to the left has kind of turned into a fast food type place. I think they got a 7-Eleven, they got a Ayers Lechon, got a laundromat over there. Seems like a high rent place to put a laundromat, but they've got one there. Ayers Lechon over there will have a band some nights, and then back in the back area, on the back side of Mango Square is there's a disco or two back in there. And there used to be 3 or 4 bars back over on this side as well, but they're all closed up. Got Horizon 101 condominiums there, and some of you have probably stayed there who have visited the Philippines, Cebu City. There's about 52 stories, something like that there. I looked at possibly buying early on in my stay here. I looked at some units, one on the 42nd floor, I think. Had a very small balcony, just barely usable. And thought the price seemed kind of high for the very small size that it was. And many of you know I've got dozens and dozens of videos since then showing you what condominiums look like, what they cost, what they rent for, what you get for your money. I am curious. Are any of you planning to come to the big festival in January? It culminates on the third Sunday of January of each year. It is called Sinulog, and 2 or 3 million people oftentimes come into town to take part in the various activities. Goes on for 2 or 3 weeks actually, and with a big parade the last or the third Sunday of January. And last year the mayor, he moved some of those events out to South Road properties. They used to take place on Osmeña Boulevard, around the circle there, the traffic circle, as well as here, a big solemn procession with maybe 1 million people or so. And interesting events. So, they don't publicize a lot of that information until January, I think, or late December. So it gets a little bit difficult to plan. But the hotels, condominiums around here usually are very popular places to stay during the Sinulog event, and they can fill up, and it's more and more difficult the closer it gets to find places. Prices go up, of course. I have experienced 5 Sinulogs and taken a lot of video at those events, and I will be recuperating. Little kids trying to sell, you can get 3 of those little towels for, kind of like hand towels, for 100 pesos, about $2. And I always wonder the logistics of that. These kids are not entrepreneurs on their own. Somebody puts them up to that. And you'll find them all over the city. And they'll give them a bunch of towels, and I think if you get them dirty, you're paying for them. If you need to keep an inventory, and if you're missing some, you need to have the money to show that you sold them, type thing. There's a couple times I've given them a little money without. I've got enough towels. I don't need or want the towels. But anyway, somebody is in charge of that. The kids get some rice and maybe a little bit more for going out and selling those things on the streets. Would be interesting to know the details. Across the street over there is called Pure Gold grocery store. That used to be Fuda, a grocery store chain called Fuda. They went out of business towards the end of the pandemic lockdowns. And so Pure Gold, which is in a number of other cities, they've moved into town. Was in there a while back, and a pretty small place. They didn't have a lot of the types of items that I would buy. But down that road to the right is a bar restaurant called the Cubana, and I think they've got a band in there almost every night. Pretty much all open air. They've got seating outside, but they've got umbrellas up in case it rains. And then up here to the left, just past Pure Gold, there's a place called the Philly Bar. I think it used to be called all American sports, all something sports bar back in there. And now it's called the Philly. Next to it's Jane, which I think is a, I don't know, karaoke bikini type club, I think, not positive. Boozers or Bamboozers, I think Bamboozers here, they're not open yet. Too early in the night, they don't open, maybe till 7 or something, 8. And a couple what they call bikini bars, Sisters Bar, and another one down here, Novak's, something like that. There was a place down here called Planet X. It's pretty much all closed up. I think they went out of business during the lockdowns of the pandemic. Not quite sure of the ownership or what's going on here. There used to be 3 bikini bars in here. Now they're remodeling a couple of the spaces. They're not sure what's going in there. They got what used to be called the Viking, now called Kakadu or something like that, Bikini Club. Not sure where that name come from. Not sure if it's the same owner. I think that Norwegian owner, he's got a resort over on Mactan Island as well. Jollibee, where would you be without Jollibee? And got some kind of church over on the left. Iglesia, something or other. It was in the news a lot when I first came, 2015, 2016. I think some of the top people were arrested for something. Not sure what the deal was. One day I'll do some research about that. Anyway, I'm going to meet a friend over here at Howling Dog Bar. Used to be called El Gecko over there. And going to meet him for a couple of beers. And then I'm going to go home. Anyway, end of the video here. Thanks for coming along. Stay safe, stay healthy, and safe travels to you all. See you next time.